President Donald Trump unexpectedly announced on Truth Social the successful completion of one of the most daring search and rescue operations in recent U.S. military history. U.S. forces conducted 2 separate, high-risk rescue missions deep inside Iranian territory to recover both crew members of a downed F-15E Strike Eagle, the pilot and the weapons systems officer. The pilot was extracted relatively quickly after the aircraft was hit over southwestern Iran. However, the weapons systems officer, a highly respected colonel, spent more than 24 hours evading capture in rugged, mountainous terrain while under intense pursuit. He was eventually located and safely extracted in a complex operation backed by sophisticated intelligence, special operations forces, and heavy air support. This wasn't just a standard rescue mission. It was a full display of integrated American military power, combining smart CIA deception tactics, rapid force projection, and near-perfect battlefield coordination. According to reports, before the operation kicked off, the CIA ran a sophisticated deception campaign inside Iran. They created a fog of misinformation that made the Iranians believe U.S. forces had already pinpointed the colonel's location. This misdirection gave our ground teams the opening they needed to slip in and pull him out of a heavily guarded, extremely dangerous area. What really stands out is the speed and scale of the deployment. Within hours, the entire U.S. military, from the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, down to the operators in the field, was ramped up to maximum readiness. Every movement and coordinate was tracked in real time, around the clock, showing a level of battlefield control that was close to total. Dozens of our most advanced aircraft were sent in, creating a massive aerial umbrella with zero room for mistakes. The colonel was injured during the escape, but early assessments show he has a very high chance of making a full recovery. On top of the rescue itself, President Donald Trump delivered a tough message to Iran, basically an ultimatum: change your ways or face serious consequences. He made it crystal clear that the United States is ready to act decisively to protect our people and our service members anywhere in the world. This operation once again proved a core principle of U.S. military doctrine: we never leave anyone behind. Even more importantly, it showed that America's real advantage isn't just our weapons, it's our ability to coordinate strategically and dominate the battlefield from start to finish. The mission actually involved 2 separate rescue operations, both executed under extremely harsh conditions deep inside Iran. This dual success is being hailed as one of the most impressive search and rescue achievements in recent U.S. military history. 2 crew members trapped deep in enemy-controlled territory were brought home safely without any additional American casualties. President Donald Trump underscored a core message embedded in U.S. military doctrine: no service member is left behind. The simultaneous execution of 2 high-precision rescue operations exposed an overwhelming advantage not only in air power, but in comprehensive battlefield organization and coordination at scale. Beyond the military dimension, he also called on the American public to move past political divisions, urging unity, trust, and pride in the armed forces widely regarded as among the most elite and rapidly deployable in the world today. On the tactical level, journalist Jennifer Griffin revealed the pivotal role of the CIA throughout the operation. The agency employed sophisticated intelligence measures to pinpoint the target's location within a vast and complex area, effectively a needle-in-a-haystack mission. Once the coordinates were firmly locked, the information was immediately relayed to the Pentagon and the White House, triggering a near-instantaneous military response chain. The decisive factor lay in seamless inter-force coordination. The operation was a race against time while simultaneously countering the risk of enemy detection, demanding near-perfect precision at every step. Under such conditions, the isolated officer was forced to sustain himself with limited water and rations, all while the constant threat of pursuit loomed overhead. Yet, within a critical 4-8-hour window, the entire situation was reversed. 2 missions, 2 hotspots, 1 flawless outcome. This was not merely a tactical success, but a clear assertion that U.S. military operational capability remains at a level difficult for the rest of the world to match. According to journalist Jennifer Griffin, both personnel involved were successfully recovered and safely extracted from Iran, bringing to a close one of the most complex and high-risk operations in recent memory. At the center of the operation was a weapons systems officer who was forced to eject after an F-15 fighter was hit over southwestern Iran. Upon landing, he had no immediate support. Under intense pursuit, he relied on his full range of survival and evasion skills to rapidly move away from the crash site, an area with the highest risk of detection. He then maneuvered into mountainous terrain, exploiting the rugged landscape to conceal himself while transmitting emergency distress signals, creating a narrow window for survival deep inside hostile territory. On the other side, the U.S. military activated a large-scale rescue operation involving Air Force Special Operations units alongside multiple supporting elements. This became a direct confrontation with Iranian forces. Forces continuously hunted the target, U.S. Units were forced to both advance and contain opposing forces simultaneously, maintaining a secure corridor for extraction. Field reports indicate that high-intensity ground engagements did occur. Several members of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, along with affiliated militia forces, were reportedly wounded or killed during the pursuit. This demonstrates that the operation did not unfold quietly, but rather involved clear, direct clashes in an extremely dangerous environment. Nevertheless, all U.S. forces ultimately withdrew from Iran in full, with no confirmed reports of American casualties. The core objective, however, was achieved: the successful recovery and safe extraction of personnel. The decisive factor behind the mission's success was intelligence. The CIA provided near-perfect data accuracy, enabling the entire operation to be executed at the right time and place. When the pilot was reached, there were no instances of capture, highlighting an exceptionally high level of operational control. Notably, during the withdrawal phase, any aircraft that could not take off or were damaged beyond recovery were destroyed on site. This was a strategic measure aimed at preventing Iran from gaining access to sensitive technologies. Any asset that could not be retrieved was eliminated, ensuring no valuable traces were left for the adversary to exploit. The entire operation highlights a clear reality. In modern warfare, it is not only firepower that determines victory, but the ability to control information and manage rapidly evolving situations. Developments on the ground suggest a level of intensity far exceeding initial reports, as 2 rescue helicopters were hit by enemy fire, resulting in several personnel being wounded. However, despite the pressure from direct attacks, all units maintained formation and executed a successful withdrawal, reflecting a very high level of resilience and operational organization. This mission was not simply a rescue effort, but a complex chain of actions, requiring tight coordination among multiple forces, from air power and special operations to intelligence assets. Meanwhile, Iran claimed that it had shot down a US C-130 transport aircraft. However, no verifiable evidence has been presented to substantiate this assertion. According to available sources, the actual situation unfolded differently. After completing the rescue, 2 U.S. transport aircraft experienced technical failures at a remote base. Facing the risk of exposure and the inability to carry out timely repairs, the operations command authorized the deployment of 3 additional aircraft to ensure the safe extraction of all personnel. The 2 disabled aircraft were immediately destroyed on site to prevent any possibility of falling into enemy hands. Throughout this period, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was mobilized in an effort to disrupt U.S. operations. To maintain a secure corridor, U.S. forces conducted airstrikes to suppress opposing elements, while ground engagements were also confirmed. This indicates that the operation was not merely a withdrawal, but an active confrontation. President Donald Trump and his team monitored the entire situation from the White House, which explains his absence from the media during the course of the mission. All decisions were overseen at the highest level, ensuring no margin for error at any stage of execution. Alongside F-15 fighters, Black Hawk helicopters served as the backbone of the entire operation. With UH-60 and HH-60 variants, this platform has long been the standard for combat search and rescue missions. Beyond speed and maneuverability, the Black Hawk is capable of transporting personnel, integrating advanced electronic systems, and maintaining survivability in continuously contested environments. This combination of battlefield experience, adaptability, and its central role within a multi-hour operational chain has made it an almost irreplaceable asset. In missions like this, where every mistake carries a cost, this platform becomes the key enabler that allows the entire system to function seamlessly and achieve its objective. Behind these high-stakes rescue operations, the Black Hawk is not just a vehicle, but a critical technological backbone that ensures the plan can be executed smoothly under the harshest conditions. With its multi-role design, the UH-60 is optimized to fly both fast and low, while carrying substantial payloads without sacrificing stability, a rare combination in modern warfare. Its maximum speed ranges from approximately 260 to 290 kilometers per hour, with an operational range of 500 to 600 kilometers, allowing the Black Hawk to penetrate deep into conflict zones without relying on ground infrastructure. This is a critical factor in rescue missions, where targets are often located in rugged mountains, dense urban areas, or near active front lines, places where traditional runways are non-existent. A key advantage lies in its ability to turn almost any location into a landing zone. From narrow clearings and rooftops to ship decks, beaches, and even stadiums, the Black Hawk can approach and land in extremely confined spaces. This capability creates a significant tactical advantage, enabling rescue forces to reach targets faster, with greater surprise, and reduced exposure to enemy fire. In terms of payload, the Black Hawk clearly demonstrates its multi-mission role, capable of carrying 11 to 14 troops along with the crew in a single sortie. This allows for simultaneous force deployment and casualty evacuation or extraction of high-value personnel without the need to divide the mission. In civilian scenarios, the rear cabin can be reconfigured into a field medical unit equipped with stretchers, emergency equipment, and even firefighting systems, effectively turning the helicopter into a flying hospital. When operating in combat search and rescue environments, the role of the Black Hawk becomes even more pronounced. The HH-60 Pavehawk variant features comprehensive upgrades, including precision navigation systems, secure communications, infrared sensors, night vision capabilities, and auxiliary fuel tanks, enabling operations in darkness or adverse weather conditions. Beyond insertion and extraction, it also possesses self-defense capabilities with 12.7mm machine guns, while providing fire support for ground forces under pursuit. This combination of speed, flexibility, survivability, and high adaptability has made the Black Hawk a near-default choice in rescue operations. In an environment where every second can determine life or death, this platform is what turns seemingly impossible missions into reality. What truly sets the Black Hawk apart is not just the aircraft itself, but how it integrates into a multi-layered operational system. In rescue missions, it rarely operates alone, instead functioning as a critical link within a coordinated chain that includes escort fighters, airborne early warning aircraft, aerial refueling platforms, and special operations forces on the ground. It is precisely this level of integration that defines its effectiveness. It is this level of integration that creates a tightly coordinated network of protection and guidance, where each component plays a distinct role yet functions as part of a unified system. In a typical scenario, a Black Hawk or HH-60 Pavehawk is guided from above, while fighter jets maintain air superiority to neutralize potential threats. On the ground, Special Operations Forces conduct reconnaissance, identify the point of contact, and secure the landing zone. In this context, the Black Hawk serves as a living bridge linking air power with ground forces, the rear with the front line, and safe zones with high-risk areas. This is precisely why it is consistently deployed in the most complex rescue missions, where risk is extreme and the margin for error is virtually non-existent. Beyond its coordination capabilities, the Black Hawk stands out for its versatility and adaptability. The UH-60 platform can be configured into multiple variants, ranging from troop transport and naval operations to specialized versions, such as the H-60 series designed for combat search and rescue missions. With adjustments to onboard electronics or cabin configuration, the same airframe can assume entirely different roles. This flexibility creates a significant tactical advantage. In practice, a Black Hawk may begin a mission as a transport platform, then shift mid-operation to casualty evacuation, or even provide fire support as conditions deteriorate. This allows operational forces to rapidly adapt to unpredictable changes on the battlefield. At the same time, safety and survivability are prioritized. The Black Hawk is built with a crash-worthy structure, twin engines, and redundant control systems, reducing the risk of being taken out of action due to malfunctions or light enemy fire. Notably, its ability to fly low and follow terrain enables it to evade radar and visual detection, an essential tactic in rescue missions where stealth can determine success or failure. Taken together, these factors form a platform that is not only powerful, but exceptionally flexible and resilient. In modern warfare, where operations unfold at high speed under constant pressure, the Black Hawk is more than just a vehicle. It is the operational core of a complex rescue system. The HH-60 Pavehawk represents a critical evolution, transforming the Black Hawk from a multi-role helicopter into a specialized combat search and rescue platform. Equipped with precision navigation systems, radar warning receivers, infrared sensors, and night vision capabilities, this platform enables crews to operate in the harshest conditions. From complete darkness and dense fog to areas with no navigational signals, the margin for error is virtually non-existent. In such environments, even a minor deviation in coordinates or an imprecise landing decision can lead to severe consequences. These systems are not merely supportive technologies, they are mission-critical elements that allow the Black Hawk to penetrate high-risk zones, complete objectives, and extract in the shortest possible time before the adversary can react. Beyond its technological strength, the Black Hawk carries an intangible asset few platforms can match: decades of accumulated battlefield experience. Since the 1980s, this helicopter has been deployed across numerous operations, from Grenada to Iraq, Afghanistan, and a wide range of global counterterrorism missions. Across successive conflicts, not only has the aircraft itself been upgraded, but the entire operational ecosystem surrounding it, from training and tactics to command structure, has been continuously refined. Special Operations Forces, the Air Force, and the Navy have accumulated thousands of real flight hours and conducted countless landings under high-risk conditions, turning the Black Hawk into a platform proven across virtually every scenario. This factor creates a critical strategic advantage when decisions must be made within extremely short timeframes. Commanders do not choose an unfamiliar platform, they choose the Black Hawk, something they know, have trained with, and have trusted over years of combat experience. Their confidence extends beyond the machine itself to the entire tactical system forged through real-world operations. In recent high-risk, low-visibility missions where information is tightly controlled and uncertainty is high, the Black Hawk often appears at the decisive final stage. After fighter jets, early warning aircraft, and supporting forces have completed their roles, it is the Black Hawk that inserts special operations units into the objective and extracts them from danger. At that point, there is no room for error. And it is precisely in those moments that the Black Hawk proves why it remains the top choice for missions where failure is not an option. In downed pilot rescue scenarios, events typically unfold in a sequence of intense, high-stakes phases. Special operations forces are inserted first, infiltrating hostile territory to pinpoint the exact location of the target. Once contact is established, they secure the pilot and establish a temporary safe zone, a critical lifeline within an area filled with the risk of detection and attack. At that moment, the Black Hawk or HH-60 Pave Hawk enters the decisive phase. Guided by ground elements and supported from the air, the helicopter must land under extremely unfavorable conditions. Darkness, fog, constrained terrain, and the constant threat of being shot down are ever present. Every second of approach is a calculated risk, where virtually no margin for error exists. The moment the rotors touch down, the operation reaches its critical point. The downed pilot and special operations team are loaded aboard in the shortest possible time before the helicopter immediately lifts off and exits the area. In the skies above, fighter jets continue to provide cover, maintaining a secure corridor for the extraction. Throughout this entire sequence, the Black Hawk serves as the critical link between air and ground tactics, between command directives and real-time execution. What truly defines the value of the Black Hawk is not just its technical specifications, but the convergence of three elements: technology, tactics, and human expertise. It is a platform stable enough to operate under extreme conditions, flexible enough to adapt to multiple scenarios, and reliable enough to be chosen for missions where failure is not an option. Those who operate it, from pilots and special operations forces to the command structure behind them, are deeply familiar with its limits, capabilities, and risks. They do not merely use the Black Hawk. They understand how to maximize its full potential in the most dangerous situations. In complex rescue missions, where every second can determine life or death, the Black Hawk is no longer just a vehicle. It becomes a symbol of trust. Trust in its design, in the process, in the coordination between forces, and above all, in the ability to bring people back from the edge of danger. Recently, President Donald Trump issued a pivotal ultimatum, placing Iran under an extremely tight timeline: 10 days to change its behavior or reach an agreement or face severe consequences. By calculation, this deadline expires on the evening of April 6 Eastern Time, a moment that is rapidly increasing pressure across the entire regional landscape. The challenge lies in the fact that Washington's demands are widely seen as nearly unacceptable to Tehran, particularly the requirement to halt support for proxy forces. This is not merely a military demand, but a direct strike at Iran's regional influence strategy. As a result, the likelihood of reaching an agreement within such a narrow time frame is reduced to a minimum. On the ground, the space for negotiation appears to be tightening. Within Iran, power centers, especially the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, hold significant influence, making any effort to engage in dialogue with the United States more difficult than ever. When key power structures are unwilling to compromise, diplomatic channels become increasingly fragile. Beyond warnings, President Donald Trump has also left open the option of military action, with potential targets including energy and oil facilities, the lifelines of Iran's economy. This signals that Washington is preparing hardline options should diplomacy fail. On the other side, several U.S. senators have echoed similar messages, emphasizing that if Iran continues to reject a diplomatic solution, overwhelming military force may be employed. This reflects a growing consensus within the United States regarding the possibility of escalation, Although indirect negotiations are still ongoing, progress has been minimal. Iran, for its part, is demanding a complete cessation of hostilities, along with guarantees against future attacks. Meanwhile, mediators continue efforts to push for direct talks, an objective that remains distant. Under these conditions, the likelihood of a breakthrough in the short term is extremely low, unless a major, decisive shift emerges from Tehran. As the clock continues to tick down, all scenarios from diplomacy to confrontation remain on the table, and the fragile balance could be broken at any moment. With that, we conclude this segment. We invite you to share your perspective and join the discussion.